From a man making excuses about working toward change while repeatedly violating his probation term.
Me, my wife, my son, he's the third, and then I'm having a baby on the way too.
All right, so let me just tell you right now, the crux of the court's questioning is going to be, what has he completed since he's been on probation?
I didn't hear you.
Oh, what has he completed since he's been on probation? Because the only thing I have before me now is the fact that he picked up an unlawfully carrying of a weapon. So what has he completed on probation?
Miss,
To another facing charges of theft.
Are you the same Elliot Scott Vela who was placed on deferred adjudication for the offense of robbery on 2023 CR 7388 for the offense of robbery on November 13th, 2023 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, sir.
Here are 5 moments Judge Boyd ensures criminals are held accountable for their crimes. Starting with Mr. Medan, a repeat offender who violated his probation rules and still claims to be turning his life around. It's so pathetic and annoying how some people never change even after getting a chance to do better.
That's correct.
All right, court is calling 2020 CR 0572, State versus Israel Medellin Jr. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Floyd Barrera, Jr.
And are you Mr. Israel Medellin?
yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you the same Israel Medellin who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2020 CR 0572 for the offense of evading arrest, detention, using a vehicle on February 10th, 2022 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 1 on about the 20th day of July, 2023, in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Israel Medellin Jr., committed the offense of unlawful carrying of a weapon in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Your Honor, will waive the remaining violated condition.
All right, any objections to the waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1? Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There's not an agreement, but there's a proposal, Your Honor.
Yes.
There is partial agreement. The agreement is that he pled true to the UCW. The state will be taking into consideration that cause number, which is 713157 at a county court number 8. And also at the same time of that incident, we're taking another case into consideration, which is the unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which is 2023 CR 9587. And we'll send those dismissals to the court.
Thank you, Judge.
And Judge, the state's recommendation is revocations that have been agreed upon.
All right. So the state is recommending revocation. Do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. My client.
All right. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Israel Medellin Jr.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Medellin, could tell the court what you do for a living.
Yes, miss, I make music for a living.
I'm sorry, what?
I make music for a living.
Music,
I've been doing it for 5 years. It's been helping me pay my house, take care of my family, my son, my wife. It's what I do for a living. It's how I get monthly income. It's how I pay all my bills. It's how I survive.
And explain to the court who your family consists of.
Me, my wife, my son, he's the third, and then I'm having a baby on the way too.
All right. So let me just tell you right now, the crux of the court's questioning is going to be, what has he completed since he's been on probation?
I didn't hear you.
Oh, what has he completed since he's been on probation? Because the only thing I have before me now is the fact that he picked up an unlawfully carrying of a weapon. So what has he completed on probation?
Miss, I've reported every month. I was reporting to
No. I'm just trying to get to what have you done on probation? Sometimes, just a second,
Slow down.
take a deep breath.
Sorry, miss.
Sometimes this is what the issue is. You will have somebody come before you and maybe they have a motion to revoke and they picked up a new case. So what do I know about you? What I know about you right now is that you were placed on probation and you committed a new offense.
Correct.
So I'm trying to figure out, what have you been doing since you've been on probation? Everybody always comes in, and I say everybody, and 99% of the people come in, I have a baby on the way. And you know, my mindset is always, Why were you not thinking about that before you picked up a new case? Or people will tell me, my mother is in the hospital or my family member is in the hospital. And you know, my question always is, why were you not thinking about that before you picked up a new case? So I'm trying to figure out, what have you completed on probation? Were you reporting? Because your conditions of probation are to report. Were you reporting?
Where?
Were you reporting? Did you report
Yes.
on a regular basis?
Yes, miss.
So you've never missed reporting?
No, I may have missed a date or something, but I always try to make sure I stay on top of it. I may have missed a date, yes, I have.
Here's the thing, not talking about maybes. My understanding, the probation officer's here. So were you reporting regularly?
Yes, miss. Yes, I was.
Did you ever miss reporting?
No.
All right. Have you completed any community service hours?
I was supposed to pay them off. Yes, I was trying to pay them off. I was trying to get your permission actually to pay them
Now,
off.
so here's the thing. You need to listen to my questions. You've been on probation since 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you complete community service hours?
No, miss.
All right. Next question. Did you complete parenting classes?
I completed one of them. Yes, miss, I did.
No. Did you successfully complete your parenting
Yes,
classes?
yes.
So what I mean by that is all the classes, if parenting classes were 10 classes, right?
Yes, I took them all. Miss.
Did you get the certificate?
Yes, miss, I did.
All right. The next question. Did you participate in field visits?
What is that, miss?
Oh, probation comes out to your house to check on you to see that you're doing well.
Yes, miss. I know. They have my address. I don't know how that goes. They never contacted me to go to my house, but they have my address where I live at.
All right. So counsel,
Yes,
any other questions?
yes. Are you on medication?
Yes, miss. Also, I do have a medicinal marijuana license, and I know I have came out positive for marijuana, but I get prescribed THC oils, and that helps me with my insomnia, my PTSD, and it helps me stay asleep at night. That's the only reason I have positives on there.
He should have been on in my opinion, Judge, a mental health doctor. He has serious PTSD and anxiety, and
Well,
he
some,
needs cognitive thinking. It was recommended on this particular case, Judge. And I couldn't agree more. Getting him
well, did he
to
take the MRT? Because that was one of his conditions.
What does that mean? I'm sorry.
Oh, to help you make
better decisions.
better decisions, to help you realize the correct moral choice. For example, not to pick up an unlawfully carrying of a weapon because you're on probation.
No, miss. I don't think I took it. I
Okay.
don't think so. I don't recall.
Okay.
It's been a while, miss. Atascosa County did sit me down for 7 months, so that is a reason why I may have not been reporting, or I didn't have no reports from August 4th to February 12th. I was incarcerated in Atascosa County last year. But everything before that, miss, I had been reporting every month. I had been taking my UAs every month, miss. I had been complying and trying to get this out the way, miss. Like I said, I have a family I take care of and rely on me so much. And I just found out I have another baby on the way. It's not nothing I wasn't thinking about. I just found out, miss. And it's just, it's news that's.
Well, everybody
really
knows,
expected.
everybody knows how babies come to be.
No, yes, miss. I understand that. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't aware of it. I'm not trying to continue to live my life like this. I do have a family that depends on me a lot, and I'm just trying to get out there and show them I can do right. My son depends on me a lot,
He's
and
a
I'm just,
very talented singer, musician,
Yes.
makes music, writes music. He's very creative, Judge, but he's got some mental issues.
Mhm.
and I do make music, and I have a very big following, and I feel like that is the reason I get harassed, honestly. And I've tried to.
Who's harassing you? Was probation harassing? Because all they wanted you to do was report on a regular basis.
No, it's not probation. It's not
All they
probation.
wanted you to do was the MRT. And here's the thing, you have been on probation since 2022.
Yes,
And everybody knows if people successfully complete their probation, normally, I would say about 90% of the time, if they complete everything and they ask for early termination, I usually give it to them.
No, I understand, miss. It started off rough for me. I can't lie. It started off rough for me because I wasn't used to probation. I wasn't used to people telling me what to do and how to do it. So it was new to me, miss, but it's something that I know I can get done.
How far
Especially,
did you finish school?
I went all the way to 11th, 12th grade.
All the way to the 11th.
Yes, all the way to 11th grade. I'm 211 grade, miss. And that's honestly something I'm working on right now too. Is I have my GED in the works. I need to finish. I think I need to get 3.5 more credits and I'm done with my GED too.
Mhm. All right, any questions? Any
No,
more
ma'am.
questions?
No, ma'am.
State, any questions?
There we are.
All right. Is the probation officer here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you'll come forward, please.
So put your back against the.
Hi, thank you so much for waiting patiently. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Moses Lozano?
All right. And so I know that you have been here since this morning. So I wanted to make sure that if either party wanted to call you as a witness, that they would have a chance to call you as a witness. All right, and I know you were being brought because this was supposed to be a contested hearing, but he's decided to enter a plea of truth. So does anyone have any questions for the witness?
I do, Judge. May it please the court, sir. Thank you for staying. Saw you here at 9 o'clock this morning. You've been here all day. I saw a notation that I think you wrote as far as a recommendation to the court. Would you explain on the record what's available that you think that he could use and needs regarding cognitive reasoning and thinking?
Well, we recommended ISF. Cognitive.
And why did you recommend it?
That's what we usually do with probationers that tend to need more guidance mentally and in general.
Okay, and
Really no
for the record,
responsibilities.
what is ISF?
ISF is a program run by the state that probationers go to. They stay there for 90 to 120 days and receive the treatment they need, whether it's mental health, drug abuse, or they'll touch on it.
Sir?
But for him, it'll be cognitive, so it's more mental than drug abuse.
But can he also get drug abuse assistance there?
No,
Or is it just
the
mental?
primary would be,
Mental. And you believe that is something that he would benefit from?
yes,
And you did recommend that, correct?
yes, thank you.
That's all I have, Judge.
Any questions?
Yes, Judge. See that your recommendation, sir, was this ISF program. And you obviously are the one that filed the motion to revoke, is that correct?
Yes.
And what would cause you to actually recommend revocation for an individual?
A probationer who consistently report and get arrested numerous times. However, it's always up to my manager. Motion to revoke.
So really, it's up to the manager of y'all's facility, of you, to what that recommendation is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Because in this particular motion to revoke, there's two number ones. That means that he was arrested on two different occasions, or at least one occasion, the unauthorized use of vehicle and also the unlawful carrying of a weapon. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then there's also an allegation on here that he did not plead true to, which was the evading arrest in Hondo County or Medina County. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's at least two run-ins with the law where he was possibly arrested on new charges, or at least alleged new charges. Is that correct?
Yes.
And just by you testifying now, is that if he's arrested for additional charges, that may be a reason that you would recommend revocation of an individual. Is that correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
That's it.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
So I just have one question. So was he reporting on a regular basis or no?
Your Honor, he failed to report in July 2024. After I found out he was released from jail on 06/28/24. I attempted to call him to report, made no contact.
All right. Does anyone have any follow-up questions related to that?
So his failure to report was because he was in custody? Or do you know?
I do know between the months of February 24 and
Yes, sir.
June, he was incarcerated.
And obviously,
He couldn't be.
He could not report when he was incarcerated, correct? Correct. Thank you. That's all, Judge.
Just one question. He
Yes.
was not in custody in July 2024.
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, anything else?
That's all, Judge.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 1 true. The court will take in consideration 713-157, 2023 CR 9587. The court is going to find you guilty and the court is going to grant the motion. Does anyone wish to speak to time?
Judge, he has served time for the offense that he has pled true to. And I respectfully submit that time will not help him mentally or emotionally or financially. And he is young. He's still somewhat immature. And he has responsibilities. He's acknowledged. And he's, as I say, Judge, very talented, very creative, and he works very hard at what he does.
Yes, ma'am.
But he makes no excuses for not being able to walk and talk and chew gum consistently. And that's his downfall, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Inconsistency.
All right, so state what amount of time are you requesting?
Please requesting 5 years, Your Honor.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're requesting that he be admitted to probation.
All right, so I'm not going to admit him to probation. So the state is asking for 5 years. What would you request?
Judge, we would request the minimum, of course.
All right. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. And the court will request the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community does not increase the time that you're in custody, but it will help you with any mental health issues or other issues you may have.
Will you retain jurisdiction, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, but you have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you.
Unlike in Mr. Madan's case, here we have Mr. Villa on probation for robbery, and it is crazy how this man, after getting a chance on probation, failed to follow the rules and disappeared for months without reporting. You need to watch the messy choice this man made.
I do not have the original motion to revoke. All I have is the first amended. All right, Mr. Vela, did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Elliot Scott Vela who was placed on deferred adjudication for the offense of robbery on 2023 CR 7388 for the offense of robbery on November 13th, 2023 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
In Bear County, Texas, the defendant Elliot Scott Vela did then and there fail to report the supervision officer as directed for the months of May and June of 2024 in violation of condition number.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
State waives the remaining violation allegations, Your Honor.
No objection.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge. He's agreed to go to SATIC.
All right, so how long has he been missing or not reporting? From what year?
The year last year.
I'm sorry?
2024. He does have a drug issue and he's relayed to me that he does want help.
So you've been missing May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 8 months. All right, you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Elliot Vela.
All right, so you've been missing for close to 8 months. Did you ever call probation?
In the beginning I did, and then I stopped because I figured I had a warrant. I got a letter in the mail for Atascosa County that had a warrant, so that's why I stopped recording.
So why did you never reach out to probation and tell them you need help?
I really wasn't thinking. I was, like I said, I had a drug problem. I was just out there.
I mean, but here's the thing, having a drug problem doesn't excuse you for your responsibilities. So I'm trying to make a decision on whether or not to revoke you and send you to prison or whether or not to send you to treatment. And you're just saying, well, you know, I had a drug problem. You need to tell me something more. What have you been doing with your life?
Honestly, not much. I mean, I've been on heavy drugs for 15 years now.
I'm sorry, what?
I've been on heavy drugs for like 15 years now, so I mean, it's just been a revolving door, you know. And
Did
I've
you
never
even
had a
do any
program.
of your parenting classes?
Yeah, I completed. That was the first thing I did. And that waived my community service right off the rip. when
All
I
right,
did that.
probation, did he complete his parenting classes?
On
Well, with the parenting classes, the court said that the community service hours would be deemed satisfied upon completion. All right, did you do your sober support meetings?
yes, I was doing those. My PO had a copy of the first few months I was out. Yeah, I did those weekly. She had me doing weekly, but I was doing those.
Did you have employment?
No, not yet, man.
Well, not yet. You've been on probation since 2023. Did you ever have employment since 2023?
I'm just with my mom's boyfriend, her husband.
All right, see, and how's he paying you in cash?
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't do the cash and carry employment here. You understand? All right, probation. What are you all recommending?
Judge, the recommendation of the court summary is for status, all about aftercare. We do need to, tap quality in custody and then for him remaining in custody for the status. I did speak with Mr. Bella briefly, and he did indicate that he has been a long-term drug user. And I would also recommend a felony drug court referral.
All right. So I'm going to give you a choice. You know yourself better than probation knows you, better than your attorney knows you, better than I know you. But these choices come with honesty to yourself. You know, my grandmother would always say, you can be dishonest with other people if that's the way you choose your life, but don't ever be dishonest with yourself. At this point, right now, you cannot successfully complete this probation. You have other things that are going on. So if you would like, I will revoke you. I will sentence you to 3 years, or what's going to end up happening, you're going to remain in custody. They're going to do a TAP evaluation. And I'm going to order felony drug court referral. You're going to remain in custody for that. If felony drug court does not accept you, you are going to be in someone's inpatient treatment. So those are your two choices. 3 years in prison or treatment. Which do you prefer?
And with the 3 years, would I get back time for the time I?
You see, you receive credit for any time. Legally, I have to give you credit for any time you've been in custody.
And I would discharge my.
No, here's the thing. I don't do this thing where I'm talking to you about what parole is going to do.
Yes.
I can just tell you what the parole law says, but whether or not you're released or not, that's strictly on parole. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. There are certain things that you can listen to inmates about, and it will be true. One, how much time people are actually doing at the prison. An inmate, if they tell you how much time people are actually doing at the prison, usually that's true. Two, when everybody is catching chain, that's usually true. When they're trying to give you legal advice, usually not true. All right, we can go back on the record. What do you prefer?
I'll take the program.
The program, when you say program, what do you mean? Well,
Drug court referral.
it's going to be drug court referral or whatever placement they recommend. Probation has said SATF in this, but if the recommendation is SafeP, that's where you're going. And SafeP is 9 months.
I'll take TC.
He prefers TDC. Thank you for your honesty. It's gonna be 3 years prison. Give you credit for any time served. And I'm sorry, are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with Nordstrom. And there's also no contact with Adam Trevino. And I'll ask for the therapeutic community. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal? Oh, and I'm sorry, the court is finding you guilty and the court is going to revoke. And I know you understand what I meant, but it has to be on the record. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yeah. In other words, you don't
File
have,
court.
yeah,
Yes, Your
yeah.
Honor.
you
This
don't- yes,
document.
Yeah,
All right. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
got a right to appeal, yes.
All right. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. When you are released from prison, you need to take care of your drug habit. Otherwise, you may end up on the side of a street where somebody's trying to identify your body. And I will say, I remember him. So when you're released, if you can't find a place that will help you with your drug addictions, you can always come back to here. If I'm here, I'll pick up the phone, call somebody for you, okay? All right, good luck to you, okay?
All right, good luck.
This time, we have Ms. Romo facing arson charges.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Any objection?
No objection.
Did you understand in count 2, you're charged with the offense of arson of a habitation or place of assembly? That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Do, Your Honor.
Ms. Romo, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Sorry. Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 2. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine, no applications, and they're taking in consideration 2024 PF 26808. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense in count 2, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No processing.
State, any evidence?
State offers states exhibit number 1 and attachments.
Objection.
State, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We asked the court to follow the plea agreement. Nobody got hurt in this case.
All right, and I'm sorry, state, is there any restitution?
No, Judge.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say on your behalf?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then the court will follow your plea bargain agreement. The court will find you guilty. The court will take in consideration 2024 PF 26808, 6 years in the prison, credit for any time served, $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There should be no contact with Frank Benavides, Carlos Alberto Regalado. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are there any drug issues or mental health issues with you? If there is, I can also request the therapeutic community for you. It does not increase the time that you're on, the time that you're in prison, but it is to help you with any issues you may have.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'll also request the therapeutic community. All right, is there anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, when you're released from prison, if I'm still here, you need help finding a place to stay or help with any type of issues you have, just come back. If I'm still here, I'll pick up the phone and help you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Unlike in Ms. Romo's case, here we have Mr. Cummings, caught up in a domestic assault case.
Mr. Cummings, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I believe so.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, counsel, do you, and you've reviewed the indictment, is that correct?
Yes,
And you're waiving the reading of the indictment?
we are waiting, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're proceeding on lesser charge of the Class A misdemeanor assault bodily family charge.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you review the court's admonishments and waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault bodily injury family as a Class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to enter a plea and give up those rights in this case?
Excuse me?
Did you intend to give up your rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Not really, but.
No, if you want to, no, here's the thing. In this courtroom, I don't do not reallys. Either you want the court to consider this plea or either you want a jury trial. Those are your choices.
Yes.
So Do you want a jury trial?
No, ma'am.
All right, then let's stop playing games, right? You answer my questions, and if you want a trial, then you can have a trial. And we'll have you brought back on Thursday and we'll start your jury trial. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I've gone over your rights with you. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Cummings, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes,
Are you a U.S. citizen?
yes,
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked? The court would find you guilty and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine.
yes,
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes,
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense. There's a $500 fine to be probated. The state recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
yes,
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
yes,
Did you understand that to be your plea?
yes,
Defense is at the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State is at the plea?
yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes,
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
yes,
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Motions are filed, never ruled on, Judge. So there's
Right.
nothing pending before the court.
Thank you. Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years, that there be 48 hours of community service restitution, the BIPP course, TAP evaluation, and follow all recommendations. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
yes,
Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plea? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
yes, Your Honor. This time, state moves to admit SallTheMan Exhibit 1 with all attachments.
I review that with my client, Your Honor. We have no objections.
All right, and state, have you conferred with the complainant?
And after this plea is finished, we would like to read a victim impact statement.
All right. Did you review the document entitled waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes,
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
yes,
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witness statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
yes,
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd ask that you waive PSI and sentence today.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we've worked hard to negotiate this plea bargain. Your Honor, my client is here before the court and pled no contest. We just ask that you follow that agreement. He understands all the stipulations and requirements of probation, but this will give him a chance to put this behind him and continue on with his life. But we'd ask that you follow the agreement as reflected in the record.
All right. Do you have any children?
yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
14, 12, and 7.
14, 12, and 7. Do you have any children with the complainant?
No, ma'am.
All right. And when's the last time you had contact with your children?
In a couple of months.
Are you paying child support?
Yes,
When's the last time you had employment?
since this happened, about 3 months ago, something like that.
So she said you were doing drugs in her bathroom. What's with the drug use?
I don't do drugs. I was smoking a vape. I'm self-employed. I have a small real estate company. my account's been hacked and stuff like that, so I've been really, trying to get everything together, like, the day, I went to jail, it was the same day, I had auction on my house, and while I was in there, well, when I went back in there, I was auctioning off on my second house, so it's like me losing 2 homes in just like, what, 6 months, you know?
All right, so
It's-
she says let's get back to, she says that you were using drugs in her bathroom. It says here, suspect was in the bathroom getting high, and she saw you doing that, and she said, pay me the money that you owe me and get out of my place.
I have nothing to do at all, me dealing with drugs at all.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't do anything dealing with drugs at all. I don't know nothing about that.
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. Court is gonna sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Annabelle Mendez. Y'all don't have any children together. You're no longer in a relationship with her. Do not pick up the phone. Do not call her. Do not send gifts to her for Valentine's Day. I think Valentine's Day is coming up on the 14th. Do not send a message talking about you're sorry. Do not try to get back with her. You all don't have any property together. You have no children together. There's no need for you to contact her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you contact her, you are looking at 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. Do you understand?
Yes,
And I don't do it, but I can tell the Bexar County Jail that you're going to serve that day for day and not 2 for 1 or 3 for 1. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you do not understand when I say there is to be no contact?
I understand.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. The BIPP course. Probation, that can be a TAP evaluation out of custody. And if TAP recommends treatment, we'll start with outpatient treatment. And there's to be the UA hotline. And there's to be 48 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once he completes parenting, the restitution will, for community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else he needs from the court? All right, there's to be field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
I don't know, but, could I use this or anything? And also, I can do home health care no more?
No,
I was doing it full time.
no. Yes. 48 hours. All right, is there anything else? Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, my understanding there's victim impact.
Correct.
All right, so the person that you are no longer, the complainant that you are no longer going to have contact with, this is the last time that you all will meet face to face. Do you understand? All right, they have something they would like to say to you.
Reading it on her behalf. She says, I just have a few words to say.
Well, I mean, do you want her to read it on her behalf?
No, Judge, if she's going to.
Finally, this last case centers on Mr. Perkins, caught stealing a pair of shoes, now dealing with the consequences of being convicted for a felony theft.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 012995 State versus D. Anthony Bernard Perkins. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Defense.
Albert Chidas for Mr. Perkins.
And are you Mr. Perkins?
Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Perkins, did you review the document entitled the indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we move to proceed on the lesser included offense of theft from person with state charge felony.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand that state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of theft from a person as a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Perkins, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of theft from a person as a state jail felony. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 108 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. There's a $2,000 fine. There are no applications, and there's to be no contact with the complainant. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your
Counsel, are there been any such motion?
Honor. No, Your Honor.
Due to the offense as charged, the lesser included offense, how do you plea? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
State offers to exhibit number 1 in attachment.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and state, have you reached out to the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor. They're satisfied with the agreement here.
All right, thank you. You may be excused. Did you review the waiver and consent to stipulation with the attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we just want to proceed with the agreement. I think as a misdemeanor punishment on a state jail conviction, it's a judgment satisfied.
All right, the court is going to sentence you to 108 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's to be no contact with the complainant, and the court will find that the judgment is satisfied. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. So now you have a felony conviction over a pair of shoes. I don't know why people think brand name shoes or a particular brand name shoe is worth potentially going to prison over having a felony conviction. So now, whenever you go somewhere for a place employment, guess what? It's going to pop up that you're a felon. You understand? Make better choices. Good luck to you.